everyone, welcome to Fox Sports coverage of GT Asia, which this week comes from the Okayama International Circuit in Japan. Jonathan Green and Steve Martin bringing you the action from Okayama. And Steve, a really classic circuit this, a lot of undulation, and it looks as though we're going to have some great battles.
Absolutely. The nature of this track is just going to make the racing exciting due to the fact that it's a piece of tarmac carved into the side of a mountain, and that really is going to bring some different elements that we haven't seen so far this year, so really looking forward to it.
4 rounds gone and already the championship starting to take shape now. We've had several different winners, including last time out Audi and Ferrari.
Yeah, good to see different manufacturers up there, and really impressed to see both of those guys, especially Ferrari in the last outing on the 488, get their first win of the year.
Yeah, and also Ferrari were in action in between races at the famous Le Mans 24 Hours. Mok Wen-sung was taking it on with Clearwater Racing. We talked to him about his experience.
It was an incredible experience. We were a bit apprehensive at the start. You know, when we won the ticket, I was thinking about it for quite a while because it's going to a totally new environment for me. We've been racing in Asia for the last 10 years, and to actually get the opportunity to go to Europe, we didn't know what we're in for. A lot of planning, and ultimately the team executed brilliantly. It was a fantastic experience. It wasn't just about a single race. It was more like a month-long adventure. For us in France, we had to do some testing. We had to get certified in order to race because 2 out of 3 drivers were rookies, with Sawa and myself. First time on the circuit, it was quite daunting with the 4 different classes of cars, and we're used to in Asia some of the endurance races that we do here with the GT3s being the quickest car, and for us in the GTE there we were the slowest car. And you have a lot of prototypes coming by at high speed, so it was kind of like trying to adapt and learn a new skill set and try to enjoy the whole experience, and it was absolutely brilliant. Right, we're so happy with the result. We're so happy to have had the opportunity to represent GT Asia in the biggest endurance race in the world.
How proud are you personally that you, Arj, the team, are worthy, if you will, of it's not just we thought we'd experience it. You competed, you were pole position, you got the respect of a lot of people, and you could have been that far away from getting a podium. More importantly, you finished the 24 hours.
Well, we went out there with a goal to merely finish, right? Because, not having done it before, we didn't know how competitive we could be. To carry the Asian flag and get the pole position, and then ultimately through the race, we had a relatively incident-free race, and we finished 4th. Absolutely proud, and never could have expected that finish. I mean, we just wanted to complete the race, but to actually be able to compete was a great privilege.
Well, it truly is a fantastic story for Clearwater Racing and Mok Wen-sung. And as somebody, Steve, who's actually won the Le Mans 24 Hours on a motorcycle, you know what that experience is like.
I tell you, it's one of the best achievements you can ever feel in your life, and it's a very emotional thing to do. So I'm really happy for those guys and the Clearwater team. They did a brilliant job on their first time at Le Mans.
Well, Clearwater Racing are also in the news for another reason, because Mok is partnered this weekend by Ferrari's top driver in the world, Jimmy Bruni. We spoke to him.
I'm very happy to be back on this championship. Last year we couldn't really race, but this year back in the same track. We try to just hit back what we missed last year. I'm very happy to be with Clearwater. They done a very good job in Le Mans, very successful, and Wang did a fantastic drive in France. So I expect here to do the same. First time for me on the 488 GT3. Normally I'm driving GT, but the car looks very nice, very fast. So we'll see.
I've got to ask you a question. You've raced in WEC and around the world. You've been a champion so many times. This championship, though, here in Asia, it's seemingly now becoming more and more prestigious. The top drivers in the world are attracted to come, yourself included. Bentley have done the same thing, and more and more, it seems, want to come out to Asia, and it seems important to the manufacturers as well.
Yeah, it becomes always, like you said, very, very important for manufacturer point of view. This is why they send a works driver over here. And obviously, drivers line up here over here. They are nothing too afraid about the European. So it's really very strong lineups. They were strong last year. They improved some drivers. So it's really nice championship. I mean, I enjoy all the time I come over here.
Well, with this tight and tricky Okayama circuit, qualifying very important indeed to be at the sharp end of the race because it's very hard to overtake. But that's exactly where Bentley and Adelaide Fong, who are pole position for race one, are. A great qualifying for them, but they needed it.
Yeah, Adelaide performed brilliantly as he always does in qualifying, but he's not going to have it all his own way in the race because the young Italians in the Lamborghini are also there to push him along. Apart from that, we've got the Singer Ferrari sitting in third position then, and Alex Jung did a great job in qualifying fourth in the Audi R8, which was strong last time out in Buriram as well.
Yeah, the Singer Ferrari of Carlo Van Dam, who's won several times here in Formula 3, so he knows this circuit. Talking to Ferrari, also watch out for Jimmy Bruni, one of the most experienced drivers in Ferrari in the world. But he exceeded track limits at the last term, and he's been put back, as has ex-Formula 1 star Alex Jung. So watch for them to come through as we take a look at the highlights of race one.
Hello and a warm welcome to GT Asia. It's rounds 5 and 6 of the series, and we are in Japan. Here is the circuit, 3.7 kilometers in length with 13 corners. It's tricky, it's technical, and it's tight. And if we are in a good formation, side by side with a car length between each, which does look good at the moment, Fong leading them now towards the start of this, a 50-minute race with a compulsory pit stop. When those lights to your top left go out, we will be racing here in Okayama. Round 5 of the series. Bentley versus Lamborghini. We go green. Good start from the Bentley, number 8 there, but it's a better start from Adelaide Fong. He gets touched from behind, but hands onto it nearly.
Yeah,
well, that was a big moment. Good spun round.
That looks like Venter. I think he's spun round. That's not a good start to his day.
Absolute disaster.
He didn't have a good qualifying. He's going. He's managed to keep it going. He's going to join in the race, and he's got a lot of work to do from there.
Well, we said it's going to be hard to pass the Bentleys, and
look at Alex. Oh, Alex is definitely trying to find a way through on Darryl O'Young at the moment. O'Young has done a good job.
Yeah, he got past him, didn't he? Here's another look at the start. First of all, keep an eye on Adelaide Fong leading the race. He gets a little nudge from the Lamborghini, but I think the Lamborghini was just, I don't think it was intended by any means, and then it was Richard Lyons by the looks of things.
Yeah, and Venter got turned around there, and unfortunately that's made his race very, very difficult. Look who's coming through. Look who's coming
nicely
through.
Done, and it is brilliantly overtaken. Jimmy Bruni overtakes fellow Ferrari man Davide Rizzo there, and the Italian in the all-Italian outfit car gets through.
He's just moved his way up to 6th position there, and you know, it's definitely a hard ask in a circuit like this when you start so far down the field to make your way through. But it was his fault that he ran off the track, therefore he's got a lot of hard work to do.
The real battle, though, is definitely here in 4th and 5th place between O'Young and Alex Jung of Malaysia. Darryl O'Young, of course, the former WTCC and Porsche Carrera Cup Asia man, and of course Alex Jung himself has also appeared in that championship.
There he goes.
He's nicely done. Oh, and he holds the braking point, does he? Yes! Nicely done by the Audi, and a good clean overtake by Alex Jung.
They hadn't had their chances.
Go on, Jimmy.
Look at that. He is on a move, isn't he?
He is on a mission. Jimmy Bruni then in the Ferrari gets past the Porsche of Darryl O'Young. Here's another look at Bruni attacking Alex Jung, and a successful one at that at turn 5.
Here's Adelaide Fong he's coming with a 10-second lead. That's a great drive by him.
Here comes the leader then into the pit stop. This is side-by-side stuff. Carlo Van Dam trying desperately to hold off the Italian Jimmy Bruni. They're wheel-to-wheel in the two Ferraris. Great action here from Okayama, and look at this. Bruni tucks himself behind.
Carlo Van Dam not leaving him too much room on the outside of the track there, and brakes very, very late.
Out comes the number 7. Andrew Kim at the wheel now, leads this race. 21 minutes to go. In comes the big battle between Carlo Van Dam and Jimmy Bruni. The two Ferraris both in, and that pretty much finishes off the pit stops.
That is pretty good timing, to be honest, because if they'd have stayed out much longer, that pit window would have closed, and then they would have been in big, big trouble.
So, the order is Kim, Birombakti, Bentley versus Ferrari. As through goes the number 9. Utikorn makes up a place on Frank Yu. Here's another look at this battle, and Marchi has caught back up to it, and that's why Jono wanted past Birombakti, and they both get past, but held up for a moment there, and that's why I think Marchi was able to start to put a charge on.
Kenny Backdy, of course, with Carlo Van Dam in the Singer Motorsport team, has a drive-through penalty. They've received a drive-through penalty, Jonathan.
Alex Young doing a very good job for Audi, for the Phoenix team.
Well, you know what this is about. This isn't just any old battle. This is the battle for second and third in the race.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's pretty critical. Alex Auer's got a really good opportunity. I'm sure that Alex Young in the pits at the moment has got his fingers crossed. He's menacing the back of Mok Wang Sung at the moment, but he just can't seem to find a way through. And if anything, it looks like Mok may have just pulled out again.
Oh, that was a little ambitious, and that is a disaster for Mok. I cannot believe that really was not a good move by Alex Auer, and you can see by the expression on Alex Young's face that was not really on at all. Getting down to the closing stages, round 5 of GT Asia. Jonathan Green and Steve Martin bringing you the action from Okayama Circuit, and there's been plenty of it as the number 37 Chinese entry from Shanghai. The BBT boys are on the move.
Whoa. Now that's what I call being dusted up.
Yeah, well, Anthony Liu is not afraid to have a go. Simple as that.
No, he certainly did a good job. And then Vutikorn, of course, went up the inside. So a great overtaking manoeuvre there by both of those GT3 cars on the Porsche.
And at turn 4, Liu goes wide, and this is a chance for the Bentley. He tucks himself behind the Ferrari, and as they head down towards turn 5, everybody's got the drag race on, trying to get a little bit of a slipstream. It's Ferrari, Bentley and Porsche here in Japan. Great racing. Down to turn 5. Out comes the VLT Porsche. And again, same turn, same incident. Not quite as cut and dried this time because they were all racing for the same piece of asphalt. But who would you say is to blame for that one, Steve?
But here we go. Look at the Lamborghini pulled out of the slipstream.
Side by side with the Audi.
Through.
And he is through. And now Leicester will look for a way as well. Time running out. This could be it. Leicester desperate to get past, but it's the Lamborghini Hurricane of Amici. Nicely done.
Porsche haven't had a podium in this championship this year yet with the new car.
That's a good point. And in fact, Tim Sugden, of course, having a few years off from racing, the former Porsche Carrera Cup Asia champion from 2007, and teaming up with several different drivers, but Jono Leicester getting the nod this weekend and playing his role brilliantly. Here he comes on the Audi. They're side by side down the back straight here.
He got a great drive up the inside. Took a nice tight turn through turn 4, and he's through.
Nicely done. Into turn 5 there. Closing stages of round 5, but Amici putting down the hammer now. But for this Bentley of Adderley Fong and Andrew Kim, it's been a great round 5. And there's the checkered flag as Kim takes the checkered flag for a win for Bentley. And Adderley Fong and the team can be well delighted. It was a great first stint from the Hong Kong driver. Here's another look then at the result. Fong and Kim with the victory for Bentley. Lamborghini second with Liberati and Amici. Sugden and Leicester. That is a fantastic result for Porsche. Their first of the year, and certainly Tim Sugden's, who's been the constant, and Leicester making his debut. Really good stuff for Jono, the Kiwi.
Well, it's not easy. It's never easy to get a win. Finally, it's the first win of the year for me. So yeah, really emotional. Andrew did put in a great stint at the end just to keep it on the black stuff, and then everyone else was making the mistakes. So yeah, just tried to keep my head in it, get clear in turn 1, and then just try to pull a gap, hand it to Andrew, and we did what we needed to do today.
Andrew, great result for you. It looked like hard work.
Yeah, it was quite hard, and actually it's my first victory for my racing, so I'm really happy.
Here's the championship points then. Rizzo and Liu moving to 63 points and holding on to that lead. But Kim and Fong now moving up the board. They've got 54 points, as has Edoardo Liberati and his teammate Andrea Amici, the two Italians right there, and it's how close it is. So, clear blue skies for now here for round 6. Rain had been in the air most of the morning, but it's cleared, I'm glad to say. We did have a few raindrops, before the grid was formed for round 6. A very, very interesting round 5, as we saw. But now, as you can see, the cars on the grid for round 6. And Steve Martin, alongside me, Jonathan Green, were set fair. And it's Ketasawa in this number 8 Bentley that awaits the pole position. Of course, this time last year, Keta from Japan took his first win and Bentley's first win in the series here at the Okayama Circuit. So all attention now, what has been a unlucky time for this particular car, especially yesterday, right at the start.
Yeah, I think they're in a very good position at the moment, Jonathan, sitting on pole position there. If they can get through turn 1 clean, they're definitely going to be hard to pull back in this race. But there are a few other guys up the front that are driving very fast as well. So Ketasawa is not going to have it his own way.
Yeah, and I think this is why I like the way this grid is shaping up, because Sauer may well be pole and one of the favourites, but when you consider that Marchi Lee, one of the toughest opponents you'd ever want to face, especially in an Audi R8, is alongside him on the front row, and then Jono Lester, who's definitely got his tail up, the Kiwi, after that podium last time out for Group M. He starts alongside Marchi, and then you consider that right there too, also there is the Group M car. Anthony Liu is right there with them as well, but we're now looking at the Lester-Sugden combination. Great to see Tim Sugden back in Asia, the 2007 Porsche Carrera Cup champion, and Jono Lester, who we're looking at right now as this long line of Kiwis that goes all the way back, it seems. Vanderdrift and Earl Bamber, they just keep producing them, and here's the next one, Jono Lester.
Yeah, great job by the Group M Porsche yesterday to get that podium, the underdogs. They got there in the end, and they did a fantastic job. Lou and Rizzo, of course, a great race by them yesterday, but I think that they're expecting a little bit more out of this one. Anthony Liu starting the race here today.
And of course, that combination still leading the championship after 5 rounds as we go into round 6. 63 points each, and they are ahead of the combination of Adley Fong and Andrew Kim. So points very important as we reach the halfway point of the 2016 season. This Hurricane Lamborghini has been a new car this year, as has the combination of Amici and Liberati, the Super Trofeo champion of Asia last year. But the FFF racing team by ACM have been impressive and have got more impressive as the season's gone on. They had a jittery start in Korea, few mistakes made, but they are both young drivers, but they have dialed themselves in. Alf Bora and the team are definitely getting these guys where they need to be, and they've been consistently on the podium.
Yeah, they haven't won a race yet, remember, but I tell you what, Jonathan, they are creeping up in the championship, so they're definitely ones to keep an eye on, and I'm sure they're looking forward to standing on that top step of the podium very soon.
Vuticorn and Johns, a new combination for this weekend, and they were looking bright early on, but as you saw in the highlights of round 5, Vuticorn getting turned around and in fact losing a wheel. They were worried that the chassis might have been affected overnight, but it wasn't, and they just literally fixed a new suspension and basically a whole rig to the right hand. Well, you tell me, you were watching it closely.
There was a lot of damage done to that car. The whole rear end of the car basically got ripped out, but they worked very hard overnight, straightened the chassis back out, put the car together with as many new parts as they can, and they should be good for the race here.
The two Aussies, Morecambe and Medeka, there's a story here too, because they had big brake problems in round 5 that we heard about last night after the race.
Yeah, they did. The bias between the front and the rear brakes wasn't acting the way that it should, and the brake pressure was jumping around and not giving them an even feel between the back and the front. So they found a problem with the rod that connects the two systems together. Hopefully they put that right last night, and we can see them in the Aston Martin Vantage complete a good race here today. Remember that Aston has got good heritage at this track. It's won here before, so these guys are sitting pretty, and the more experience they get in the car, the faster they will go.
Well, as we see the safety car leading the field, it'll be a rolling start, don't forget. But I'm just thinking in terms of what we learned yesterday as we look at the starting grid. We'll get to that in a moment. Here it is, Bentley leading them away, Sauer at the wheel, and Marchi Lee alongside him. Then it's Lester and Liu, 3rd and 4th, the M Racing team and the BBT team for Ferrari. Then Amici lines up in 5th position with Vuticorn alongside him in the Bentley. And Morecambe will start in 7th position. Piti Biambakti for the Singer Motorsport team. There he is, just flying through shot. And Andrew Kim, his first win last time out, he starts 9th ahead of number 10, 10th position of Alex Mock and Toy Birambakti 11th and 12th for Craft Bamboo Racing. Lions and Ewan. Craft Bamboo, I'm looking to get them a result this weekend, and they'll be looking for the same because now that Group M and Porsche have been on the podium, and I think they want to raise their game. It was a brand new Porsche, to be fair, at the beginning of the season, and it was still developing, and now, though, it's come good in the hands of Sugden and Leicester in round 5. This is the long straights, and I was just about to say, what did we learn, Steve? And one thing we definitely learned is that this is a tight track, especially for these big cars, the big Bentleys. Not a lot of places to overtake, except for the corner we're coming into right now, which was where there was so much drama yesterday, which is turn 5 here. The best opportunity to do an overtake.
Yeah, this is the longest straight on the circuit. They get up to about 240 k's an hour, and braking into this 180-degree U-turn here up the inside, it looks like one of the favourite overtaking spots. But it is an old-school track, Jonathan, and it's very tight. There's not a lot of room on this circuit, and pretty much, if you're going to have a go, if there's a little bit of a gap, you've got to do it at that point there. The other chance, of course, is into turn 1, and that will get hectic on the first lap. We saw a few contacts yesterday with Jonathan Venter getting turned around, and also race leader Adley Fong getting tapped on the first lap of round 5.
Yeah, I like the expression old school. We are deep in the heart of the Japanese countryside in the Okayama Prefecture. And as you say, this is an interesting track, developed and coming onto line, and in fact, getting notoriety as a Formula 1 track for 2 years in 94 and 95. Schumacher winning both races. Ayrton Senna actually taking pole position in the first ever race here at what was then the Aida Circuit. Now, of course, Okayama International Circuit. We are lined up and formed and ready then for round 6. We welcome our viewers across Asia on Fox Sports. This is GT Asia. It's round 6 of the series. We are about to hit the halfway point, and the championship is wide open, but led at the moment by Ferrari and Davide Rizzo and Anthony Liu. Here we go then. The lights go to green. Everybody's spreading out. Good start by Budakon on the inside, trying to get alongside the Lamborghini. Can't quite do it. And Marchi Lee coming side by side with the Bentley. But it is Kurosawa that leads the field into turn 2 here at Okayama.
That was a really nice clean start, much better than round 5, and everyone through, so now we're racing. Leicester didn't get the best of starts. He got dropped back with the Ferrari, the BBT Ferrari, just overtaking him, so he's got work to do.
Anthony Liu then moving up to 3rd place. Good remover by him into Atwood turn 4, and then the long straight for the first time. Now we see the legs of the Bentley opening up. The Audi, though, has been quick in a straight line and was very confident that they could have a good weekend here. And Marchi Lee now looking for that opportunity.
Well, I know one thing's for sure. They have a certain amount of tyres. They have 5 sets of tyres throughout the weekend, and the number 8 Bentley out front has got a brand new set left, and they've got a brand new set on that car right now. So they're definitely going to be fast in these first few opening laps.
Bentley leads from Audi, and they're pulling away as Jono Lester gets through on the Ferrari. Good attack by the Kiwi. And then look at them all fighting for position. Budakorn's in there too. And Anthony Liu losing out places here.
You've got to keep your eye on Jono Lester in this race, Jonathan. He's got nothing to lose. He's going to give it everything he's got. This is the best we've seen a Porsche running since round 1, where Richard Lyons led the race.
Yeah, unfortunately it didn't end the way he wanted. They was taken out, unfortunately, but yeah, it could have been a completely different story for that combination as they come out of the last corner here at Okayama and across the line for the first time.
The other highlight for me at the moment is Marchi Lee. He's doing a great job because it's been taking the Audi a couple of laps, 2 or 3 laps to get the front tyres to work. So if he can just hang in there with Sauer at the moment, he will be in the box seat as his front tyres get up to temperature and the grip come to him. He should be able to increase his lap times to the same as Sauer out front.
Sauer, Lee, Lester, Amici, that's your top 4. And Jono Lester with the lights blazing on the Group M Porsche. And right at the back, Frank Yu and Lyons combination. And Frank Yu with some work to do.
Definitely got work to do. They did receive a penalty yesterday, which is why they started from the back. Unfortunately, with Lyons tapped the back of Venter and turned him around, he received a penalty for that. So a lot of work for the Interrush Porsche.
This will be a good battle too between the number 9 of Budakorn and of course Andrew Kim in the number 7. See, they're very close on track together. Andrew Kim celebrating his first victory in GT Asia last time out, and of course now right where they need to be, just a few points behind the leaders Rizzo and Liu in the championship chase.
Yeah, poor old Vutikorn hasn't done a lot of laps this year. They had to sit out the first race in Korea with a mechanical problem. They didn't engine in that car, believe it or not, unheard of. They flew one out from England and fitted to the car, but they didn't get it fitted in time. And of course, yesterday he had that incident where his rear wheel was knocked off of the car. So unfortunately for him, not a lot of laps this year.
As you can see, the clock at the top of your screen is the countdown. 56 minutes to go in this 1 hour race, a compulsory pit stop, and we have a stop time minimum of 75 seconds, and then add on for compensation depending on where you finished yesterday, and we'll explain that as we get closer to that pit stop window.
There's the mock Ferrari, the 488. Bit of a famous driver driving with mock this weekend, Jimmy Bruni.
Well, I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than Jimmy Bruni. I think that just shows, we heard from him earlier, just how important this GT Asia Series is becoming for both the manufacturers and the world's top drivers. And it's a real compliment to the gentleman drivers, effectively the vast majority of which you're watching right now here in Asia, and how well they are racing and how much the series has come on. Oh, and a moment there.
Pity Bakti trying to go up the inside into that favourite overtaking spot, but he didn't make it that time, Jonathan. He's certainly hounding the back of Mock.
Yes, 488 versus 458, the older model Ferrari. And still pretty even on track, though.
I'll tell you what, we haven't mentioned the Australians. They're doing a good job too. They're sitting in 8th position at the moment, Morecambe behind the wheel at the moment, the Aston Martin. So they're certainly making their way forward, and it looks like they've fixed the problems. Look up the inside there, can't do it.
Yeah, that was at the penultimate corner there. That was just at Hobbs' corner there. Very, very aggressive manoeuvre, and I think he's going to maybe have a go at turn 1. That's the next obvious place if he can get close enough.
Marchi Lee's doing a good job out front at the moment. He's still got that gap to the leader Sauer within a second. It's 0.7 at the moment, so good job by them out front.
Yeah, good tight start to this one. Long way to go yet, and of course a change of drivers. Here's another look at the start. Good start from Vutikorn. Watch him jink now as the lights go to green. Really good reactions there.
Yeah, no, he did get a good start there, and Andrew Kim as well just nearly ran out of track. Rizzo and Liu car, the BBT car, with Anthony Liu behind the wheel, got past Lester at the start, so that was a good job. Mock, on the other hand, way at the back.
So the race settling down, and we're starting to get some good infighting between the two Ferraris, especially the number 3 Ferrari leading.
He's trying to go around the outside.
Trying the outside now. Well, he might pull this off, you know.
That is a great manoeuvre. If he can hold that line.
Hold the line. Well, he did more than hold the line.
He's on the inside.
He's got the line, but he had to force his way through. And I wonder if somebody might have something to say about that, because that was very forceful, but you can see the intention. Right idea.
Yeah, well, it was fair. He sort of had the line, a little bit of a touch there. Mock did the right thing, tried to close him down, but they were side by side at that point. So not too much damage done in that one, but the Singer car goes through.
You say that, I don't know if Mock would have enjoyed that much.
Oh, absolutely not.
Argy-bargy.
No, absolutely
Talking
not.
of argy-bargy, look at this battle now.
Well, that gap is down there. It was 0.7 a lap ago, and it looks like the front tyres of the Audi have come in because he's able to catch right up to the back now of the Bentley.
Yeah, Katasawa leading this race, and of course, absolutely one of the favourites here. He had a great run this time last year, won here, and then went on to Fuji and won as well. But you can see he's under a lot of pressure right now.
Yeah, definitely. Do you see the difference on lines there? The Audi can turn in a lot tighter than the Bentley, than Katasawa there. Marchi Lee's looking for a way past, but he's definitely in an attacking mode.
Into turn 5 again. You can see the gap for yourself. It's officially 3.6 seconds now to that third place of John O'Lester. And here we go, the battle as Amici makes his move on the Lamborghini. The Lamborghini, though, making its move on the Ferrari, getting ahead of Liu. And the two Bentleys ominously close now. This is a great four-way battle as they come out the infield section. And here goes Marchi up the inside. He's got to be careful. That could have been a situation where they took both of each other out there, but
he's definitely
pulled back out.
Look how tight he can enter the corners. He's really able to hug the corner on the inside, but he's trying to put a lot of pressure on Kitasawa, but Sauer can take the pressure. He knows how to win here, Jonathan.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Keta racing at home is tenacious at best, and so too Marchi though. So this is a good combination between the man from Hong Kong in second place and the man, a local hero from Japan, Kitasawa.
Of course, the big advantage, if there is an advantage to be had by the Bentley, is the amount of torque that it puts to its rear wheels on the exit of the corners, which means that Marchi Lee in the Audi has to attack in the braking area if he can. It's unlikely that he's going to get a better drive out of the corners than the Bentley in front of him.
Yeah, not too much damage from that incident yesterday. He got it repaired fairly quickly after the race, or round 5
There's
yesterday.
an opportunity, Jonathan. Keep an eye on that spot. I think that Marchi Lee is lining that up.
He's lining another position up here.
Yeah.
Side by side now as they head down the hill.
Can't do it. See the punch of the Bentley, but he's on the brakes. He's through.
Oh, Marchi!
Great
Beautifully
move.
done at turn 5. That's how you do it at Okayama. And through goes the Hong Kong driver in style.
Phoenix Racing taking a breath at the moment. They're very happy. 31.4 last time through for Sauer and 31.1 for Marchi Lee. It's going to be interesting to see how much he can lower the lap times. In round 5, similar conditions, they were in the 30s. So it'll be interesting to see if he can get down to that.
Here's another look at it. Textbook stuff. He just chose his moment. And to be fair, Sauer gave him plenty of room as well. He knew he was going to make that move. He's been watching him in the mirrors. But Sauer, a very fair and good sportsman. But I think, yeah, it was inevitable. And I think Keta will live to fight another day, so to speak. It's a long race, this. And you've got to think that Marchi now will try to put the hammer down, because obviously he wants to build as big a lead as possible before he hands on the car to Thong. And that is key here. And I think Sauer saying, OK, I'm going to do my race, you do yours. Leicester still 3.6 seconds behind in third place at the moment. Amici fourth. He's got ahead of Liu. And Liu in fifth place ahead of Vutakorn. That fight between the two Bentleys, Vutakorn and Kim, continuing. And then, as you say, the Aussies, Morecambe, doing a very good job in the number 95 Aston Martin. Great to see Aston Martin back in the series, having had so much success. In fact, at this track too, it's one of their most successful tracks, Aston Martin. So great to have them back in the fold.
Yeah, good job by Leicester there in the Group M Porsche.
And he's taken the gap down, actually, as those two Ford at the front. The gap now 2.6 seconds. So Leicester really pushing on now and seeing if he can catch Sauer before the end of this stint. Just 10 minutes gone now in round 6.
Marchi Lee just with the fastest lap of the race now, 31.0. So that was a pretty impressive lap time by him. Now that he's in the lead, it's going to be interesting to see what he can do. But there's a second gap, as you say.
Yeah, in fact, all the times are impressive. Just looking at you there, 131.2.
There's not a lot in it, is there?
No, not at all. They're really very, very impressive in the opening stint. And I'm so glad the conditions, we did have quite a heavy downpour about an hour before the start of this race. But as you can see, perfectly dry out. Ooh, that was a little wide, but a mistake really rather than an intended gain, I don't think, by Vutakorn.
The reason we got excited there, of course, is if you exceed the track limits, you can get a drive-through penalty, and that was very close to doing so. But as you say, Jonathan, wasn't deliberate, I would say. So
yeah, I think more of a mistake than anything else.
Got away
if he kept doing it every lap, I think, yeah, maybe they'd have a look.
Absolutely, we have seen guys penalised in the past, so the drivers are well aware of what they need to do.
Well, that was a good battle we were just watching there as Anthony Liu dialing into the Lamborghini in front of him. Amici trying to hold him off, the 23-year-old Italian.
Yeah, it's a good battle there at the back. It's good to see Frank Hugh getting a little bit of stability in the car now as well. He's having a good, a smooth drive is what he needs to do, and he's attaining that. I mean, the Interrush team, they didn't have such a great round 5, so if they can just get to the finish, use this race as testing, I'm sure that we're going to see them further up the front as the year progresses.
This is really interesting because we've got little pockets of battles here. Clearwater Racing had a great run at Le Mans, as we heard earlier. Excitement for the team, and of course, multiple championships here in Asia. They're probably the most successful team in GT Asia. Coming up to Redmond Curve again.
There's Piti Bhirombhakdi, of course. Toy Bhirombhakdi in the VLT Porsche.
There's the battle for second and third, and it's getting in more interesting because the gap now down to 2.1 seconds as they cross the line last time out. Between these two, the gap to first and second. And look at Liu, he's going for it. Anthony Liu, Shanghai, It's side by side for a moment through 2.
He set himself up beautifully though. Should get a good run out of here, out of 2 into 3 through the S's.
Yep, the S's, which are the Sterling Moss S's. All the names of the corners after British drivers.
Now there's a couple of different lines through this one. Lamborghini stays tight, but he has a wobble at the wrong moment, Jonathan. That's the drive onto the straights. This could be Anthony Liu's chance.
He's tucking himself nicely down the back straight towards 5. You can see the gap they've pulled on the Bentleys.
Yeah, it's difficult to go that way though, but he's going around the outside. We have seen it work.
Yeah, we've seen it work already, but no. Closes the door, does Amici.
Yeah, he knows that move.
Watching on is Guido Liberati. His stint will be next for the FFF racing team by HCM.
It's about 10 minutes now, just under 10 minutes until the pit window opens. Of course, they don't have to come in at that particular point. It's open for 10 minutes.
Yeah, and it's a double-edged sword. You can see Anthony really desperate trying to get through here, but he's risking a lot as well because, as you say, it's a two-stinted race. You don't gain anything by just being in front of the man in front unless you can put a few heavy laps in and then create a gap, and I think that's really why Liu wants past now. But as you can see, Amici defending brilliantly here as we go into turn 1. What a battle this is! Oh, very close indeed. And finally, it looks as though Liu's got a good position here, but Amici's got the better line. Yeah. This is classic racing, Stephen. Look how tight it is and how close it is.
He's definitely put the pressure on Amici at the moment, but it's just coming to no avail. Amici is just blocking every line. He's entering tight into the corner, not allowing Liu to get up the inside. Liu really needs to get up the inside. The Ferrari gets a good drive off of this corner. He's got great drive this time. But once again, Amici is just using all the road. He's gone to the inside. That's the way to go, not the outside. But once again,
does the defensive stuff. Yeah, this is classic racing. I mean, really, really close stuff. And he tries around the outside again, but Amici will close the door, I'm sure, through 6, and he does.
Yeah, Anthony Liu's got a couple of very strong points on the circuit, but he just needs to be able to get up the inside.
And look at this, John O'Lester is also trying to get past Kedasawa. What a classic start to this race, round 6 of the series. Perfect conditions here at Okayama.
Yeah, that's amazing that John O'Lester's managed to catch right up to that, to Kedasawa.
Coming up towards the last 2 corners. Watch Liu tuck himself in here. Try to get good drive out of this corner, and he does so. Now do the same again out of the last corner. Get good drive onto the main straight, and then look for that overtake at turn 1. Amici dives to the inside to defend. Liu's looking to the outside here as they cross the line again. Great racing. They're side by side as they go into turn 1, and Liu just can't get, but now he's got a better opportunity.
That is the move he needed to do, but he's been hung out wide. He's on the inside. He could be through. He's through.
This is it. Liu goes through. Nicely done.
That was what he needed to do. He needed to make that move stick from the outside, leave no room for the Lamborghini to get through, and he made it stick, and now I'm sure...
Thumbs up. The Italian says it all. We're through. Yep. Great stuff into turn 4. Now, can Amici come back at him? He gets decent drive up the hill, and he needs it if he's going to make an overtake attempt at 5. Meanwhile, John O'Lester is fighting. Frank Hughes got through.
Yeah, and Mock doing a good job too. He's just starting to ease the gap open on those guys, so a good job by Mock. There's Toybeer and Bakhti, of course.
Yeah, the combination of the Beer and Bakhtis going at it, the cousins. So great to see on track. The VLT Porsche leading the Ferrari at the moment.
I don't know if I'd want to be racing with my cousin out on track, Jonathan.
Tell you what, it's good stuff. That's what I like to see. And look at this side-by-side stuff again. Number 12 going through.
Yep, Ferrari versus Porsche. And he's made that stick too.
Back. That's a bit cleaner this time, and that was a lovely manoeuvre.
Yeah, of course, the older 458 Ferrari works really well at that part of the circuit. Puts the drive down and has good mechanical grip as well, which lets it pretty much go around the outside of most cars at that part of the circuit, which is really good. It helps when it comes to overtaking.
Now, this is the battle I wanted to see. Bentley versus Porsche, the Group M Porsche of John O'Lester, pushing hard now on Kedasawa. This for 2nd and 3rd position, as you can see. The leader, Marchili, pulling away at the front, leaving these 2 to battle it out just before the window for the compulsory pit stops here. Team Absolute, winners here last year, heading down in the beautiful sunshine through through the forests of Okayama at this fantastic circuit. Really enjoy coming here.
Yeah, Jono Lester's got himself in a great position at the moment. He's just sitting in there behind.
Spoke to Jono this morning, and obviously he was tickled pink after the result yesterday. And I said, "Are you going to stick around and do some more of GT Asia?" And he said, "I love it. If Tim will have me, I will absolutely." And I think he will.
Yeah, you know, finishing on the podium in your first time out is no mean feat. So I think that that's probably got to sway Tim's decision somewhat, I would say.
Yeah, and it's Alan Chin, of course, the team manager as well. And I think the combination, though, Sugden himself admitting that there he is, a little bit rusty when he came back to GT Asia for the first time after a few years off. He's been a champion out here as the Yorkshireman in Great Britain, and so he knows his way around for sure. But yeah, so just getting up to speed, a new car.
Yeah, that's right. It's not only just you know, getting himself up to speed. They've had to get this car up to speed with limited resources as well. The pit window will be opening at 12:57 local time. And it will be closing at 1:07 and 50 seconds.
Oh, and a spin!
Oh,
that's
Mark.
the Ferrari. And Mark and Son spun round there. I don't know. That's at Hobbs Corner, and it wasn't for bad luck. What a shame. It's been a tough weekend. After the highs of almost finishing on the podium at Le Mans, here they are in Okayama a few weeks later, struggling. Not for the first time this weekend, in trouble.
Yeah, he's got to stay out for 5 more minutes. I'm sure he'll come in pretty early now after that last thing he needed, and you know, struggling with some sort of issue there that hopefully we get a replay of.
Here we go. This is what happened, and yep, it was the Inter-Rush Porsche.
Oh,
I have to say,
2 times in 1 weekend.
I know. No, again, no fault of Mox that one, and he's going to be a little miffed because look, boom.
Couldn't turn. The Porsche couldn't turn. He's just run straight to the side of him. He's gone in deep, and for one reason or another, he couldn't turn. He had track on the inside, but yeah.
Meanwhile, back at the front. Onto the front straight as we get ready for pit stops, and as you can see, team manager Arj not too pleased with that as Jimmy Bruni, the mighty Jimmy Bruni, fastest lap yesterday and needing to do it again, all over again. If he gets ready for his stint. Jono Lester still looking for a way past Sauer. Can he get it in before the pit stop break?
If you remember earlier in the race, we had a moment where we saw Inthrapuvasak in the pink Bentley running off the track. Well, he's just had a warning for track limits, which would probably go back to that event. So the team will know that now. They'll get onto the radio and let him know to cool it a little bit and stay on the track so that won't be an issue.
Yeah, just a warning. I mean, like I said, I think it was more a mistake than any game. But here we go. Lester looking for a way past. The obvious place here at the end of this straight. And he is all over the back of Skedasawa, trying to almost intimidate the Japanese, but I don't think that's going to happen. Kedo with bags of experience.
The other thing is, of course, is Jono Lester's, although he's done this track on the simulator, he's never actually been here before, so he's got that one race under his belt. Every lap he does here, he's going to get faster and faster.
Well, we haven't said too much about it. What a great run that Marchi Lee has put on. 8.6 seconds he's managed to eke out in terms of that lead, or hand the car over to his teammate. His battle continues for second place, and Jono's still looking for a way past, winding himself up. It's just so good to see Porsche back to where we're expected to see them.
And in an aggressive mood as well. Right in behind Kitasawa now. You've got to think that he wants to get in front of Kitasawa heading into the pits.
Anthony Liu in 4th place in the distance there. A bit of a gap to the next man, but this has been the most intriguing battle, certainly, of the opening stint. Leicester failing so far to get past Sauer. Sugden watching on and waiting. And yep, a little wave. And I think enjoying being back in Asia. He was talking to me this morning and definitely enjoying being back in the Russell cut off. He's been helping other drivers, young drivers come through, single-seater drivers, effectively being a driver coach around the world for some of the single-seater guys. A good guy to have in your corner. And,
a bit of news, the number 88 car of Richard Lyons and Frank Yu will have to serve a drive-through penalty after contact in turn 11 with Lachlan Sun.
Not too surprised at that, are you?
No, definitely. It was. He tried to nip up the inside, and it just wasn't working for him, and he took Mock out. Mock's not going to like that 2 times in 2 races.
Well, no, and I mean, you know, there's so much work goes into a weekend, of course, in preparation for rounds 5 and 6. Leicester still can't get past into the
He's
red curve.
through.
No, he's not yet.
Oh.
He's doing
He
everything
is now.
though.
He is now. He's on the
not.
inside. You wait and see. He's through. He's got his nose in.
Yeah, but Bentley.
He's in.
Oh, he's done it. Oh, has he?
He's
Wow! Side by side through the penultimate turn and the last corner. Fantastic racing from GT Asia. And he will not give in. Superb overtake, and it took him 3 corners, but he's done it. Through goes the Group M number 98. Jono Lester makes that move. Ketasau will try and fight back into turn 1. But this is just what we wanted from the first stint of round 6. Live action on Fox Sports. And they are delivering in spades at the moment.
The difference between those two cars in the pit stops, of course, we have success time penalty added to the cars as well. So in fact, the Porsche has to stop in the pits for 4 more seconds than the number 8 Bentley, if you can believe that. So there will be a longer pit stop for the Porsche.
I know, I'm going to put you on compensation watch. Who's got the longest or who's going to be in there for the most time? Here's another look at what was a fantastic overtake. Like I said, it took him a couple of corners, but sheer determination. And Ketasau is not a guy to let go at any time, and he didn't, quite rightly. But now, as you can see, Jono building on that.
Yeah, looks like Jono Lester's a guy as well. It's he doesn't let go either. But
We've got about a minute till the pit window opens. So, Steve,
right,
take it away.
Even though the 55 Lamborghini hasn't won a race yet, Jonathan, it will be stopped in the pits for the longest amount of time. 103 seconds, of course. That's an adding of the 2 different ways that we add the compensation time together, which is a silver driver pairing has 16 seconds, and we also add the time penalty for success. They've had lots of podiums, therefore they stopped for 103 seconds. The shortest amount of time. Let's just have a look at Marchie Lee. Marchie Lee, of course, another one in the number 5 car. They have to stop for 91 seconds, and that's due to the fact that they are a silver pairing. So Marchie Lee is probably sitting in a pretty good position at the moment.
And he's extended that lead to 11, almost 12 seconds now as we wait the pit window opening. And this has been a good run, and like you say, they're in a good position here to go for glory here this afternoon.
Yeah, and the reason that 12 seconds is a good amount of time, Jonathan, because it's basically a 16 seconds is what they get on the minimum pit stop of 75 seconds. So he's in a very good position. The pit entry is now open for 9 minutes and 43 seconds left.
As you can see in the bottom of your screen, 9 minutes of pit window opening.
So what you'll see is somebody like Marchie Lee try and stay out as long as possible, and the magic gap for him is 16 seconds.
Well, it didn't take long for the Singer Ferrari to come in, immediately taking their option, and likewise, it looks like I can see Alex Young in the background, the famous Malaysian helmet. Been around motorsport for a long time, the former Minardi Formula One driver. Shares that honour with Jimmy Bruni, who will be back to get in the car as well in the Ferrari.
Daryl O'Young will also be getting into the VLT Porsche.
Yeah, Daryl, of course, our current champion, but really has not had the 2016 he hoped in the VLT car. And let's hope the second half brings better luck for them.
We saw really good pace from this car in round 5 as well, with Alex Young behind the wheel. He did a great job in yesterday's race, so it's going to be good to see him out there now. He's seen the pace that Marchie Lee can run, so he'll definitely be trying to match that.
Yeah, we've had quite a lot of time talking to Alex this weekend. Like the other Audi, they've had trouble just getting heat into the front tyres and saying that, you know, the opening laps of a stint, it's quite hard to be strong. But once they get into their throw, the car's good.
Absolutely, we do run in this series a control tyre. It's quite a hard tyre, and some of the cars, like the Bentley with the engine in the front, has more weight in the front, which warms those tyres up quicker. Most of the cars here have the engine in the back, so the front tyres take you have to be a little bit more careful until the steering comes to the car.
Certainly, that's been one of the biggest stories of the weekend, is Audi trying to get that front end grip. And Marchie was telling us about it yesterday, and Alex likewise. As the number 8 swaps position. Jonathan Venter will get in the car, the Australian, the youngster, who's studying for his accounting degree in Sydney, Australia at the moment.
He's not thinking about that right now.
Well, he's counting the numbers, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's seconds down until he can leave the pit lane. 91-second compensation time for them. No success time added, just the fact that it's a silver pairing.
Through goes the leader, Marchie Lee.
Now he's going to stay out as long as he can because he is on fire. He's got that gap out to 12 seconds, as we said before, and he needs to try and get out a little bit more if he can. There's Jonathan Venter as he heads out of the pits for the first time.
Venter then, the Aussie, with work to do. They led the championship at the beginning of the season and it looked so bright from Korea, but then bad luck and hard luck. Certainly in Thailand, when the safety car just wasn't in their favour in terms of their pit stop. They were last to take the pit stop, and it just kind of ruined their rhythm. Played to their hopes.
That's the issue that you have with a 10-minute. That's the gamble you take with a 10-minute window.
See the man at the front. We just saw it in the Ferrari, but there's a very important role to play, which is the timing of the pit stop. Everybody knows their own time, but you have to get it right. You get that wrong, and it's a penalty immediately, and that can be the winning and losing of so many races in this kind of racing. You've got to be accurate, and you really are an important factor, the guys taking those times and making sure the drivers stay in the pits and stay stationary for the exact amount of time that they're meant to. Meanwhile, here comes Marchi Lee into the pit lane, and the leader is in. He'll hand the car over to Thong.
Yeah, Sean Thong did a pretty good job yesterday as well, so it's going to be interesting to see how he can take the pressure. We saw Andrew Kim yesterday have a good drive in a pressured situation. Now it's the time of Alex Au and Sean Thong.
Here we go, Phoenix Racing Asia then. 5 minutes to go in the pit window.
You can see some new tyres going on the front. And the rear of Marchi Lee's car. Sean
Great
Thong.
paint job on this car,
isn't it?
I love it.
Jono Lester doesn't want to come in.
No, I think he's enjoying it, isn't he?
Well, definitely. He's doing some good lap times out there at the moment. 31.2, that's very consistent. He's been doing that lap time pretty much throughout the whole race, so a good job by Jono Lester.
So we are going to shuffle through these pit stops, and then we'll get an idea of the gaps and who can do what. But of course, all of these guys, we saw it in qualifying, all of these guys so close, within a second in the qualifying one. And we've had 3 practice sessions before that, all in dry conditions, I may add. And Bentley's led session 2. Jimmy Bruni was quick as soon as he got in the car in the first session, but in the end it was Adley Fong who took pole position for Bentley.
It'd be interesting to see what Bruni can do this time out. He's got a lot of work to do. We saw him come through the field yesterday from the rear of the grid, but a big job ahead of him now.
Lester is in then, and out goes the Audi.
Sean Thong, of course, behind the wheel now.
Let's see how quickly Jimmy Bruni catches up to him. And that's the car, the Ferrari behind, that we've had a lot of attention on, given that Mott was turned around by the Interrush Porsche.
Yeah, they haven't had a good weekend, have they? Not too smooth at all. Here's the Group M car that came in leading the race due to the fact that it stayed out the longest.
So, Sugden in the car then. Tim Sugden, the 2007 Porsche Carrera Cup Asia champion, back in GT Asia. And sure enough, the number 3 Ferrari is through. Didn't take long at all. But of course, the Audi just on its out lap here.
Yeah, probably the most important lap of the race, this out lap. It's so easy for something to go wrong on the the colder tyres if you've changed tyres, and we know that Audi has. Of course, these drivers haven't had a warm-up session this morning, so they're fresh in the car. They haven't got behind the wheel today. So basically, he's just got to get out there and put himself in race mode right away.
3 minutes left on the pit window. It's round 6 of GT Asia 2016. Jonathan Green and Steve Martin bringing the action here on Fox Sports live across Asia. And in the first stint, we saw some fantastic overtakes and some great battles. Let's hope we get the same here in stint 2. As out goes Tim Sugden, stalls it, will restart it, and away he goes.
He was lucky to get that going straight away. Sometimes they don't restart, but he's heading out, won't have lost any time from that. Tim Sugden behind the wheel, as you say.
Sugden comes out, there's the 37 Ferrari. Davide Rizzo, the Italian, who also took success in Europe in the gap between Thailand and this race here in Japan, racing at Paul Ricard. And busy boys. Some doing Le Mans, some doing more GT racing, but always busy.
Yeah, they certainly are, even in the case of Carlo Van Dam, go-karts.
Yes, teaching a bit of go-karts, why not?
Absolutely. You've got to keep your hand in, don't you?
So, Phoenix Racing's Thong at the wheel in the number 5, and Marchie Lee, of course, and this combination of he and Thong taking victory last time out in Thailand.
Yeah, they're actually having a pretty good run, aren't they? With the new Audi, of course, it's new for this year. A fantastic machine, and seems to work pretty much reasonably well everywhere.
Well, of course, Marchie's got so much experience in this car, helped develop it here in Asia for sure, in different forms, and especially here now, I think they really are dialing it in. And like you heard, a few problems in terms of getting the tyres up to temperature early on in the stint, but that done, this is a missile.
1 minute 16 left until the pit window will close. So if anybody is still left out there, they need to get into the pits now. But I'm pretty sure we've had all of the pit stops. So we've got the second drivers in the car as we speak. There is Davide Rizzo from Italy. Tim Sugden takes his first lap in the Group M Porsche as well. Probably a little bit of pressure for him this weekend with Jono Lester driving so well. Great team, great pairing, good podium for them yesterday.
I think they're going to be good for each other, actually. I think they fit well together, and Jono, an ebullient character for sure. And likewise Tim, to be fair, but Tim a little older than Jono, but just great guy to have a chat with after a race and get the inside information and just what's going on out there on track.
Yeah, the thing I like about that, the factor is that those two guys had never met each other before.
Yeah.
They turn up, get into the same car, and within 5 minutes, they're feeling the same thing that the car's doing, and they can work together and change the setup of the car. So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, you were asking about setup, and they said, you know, when you've got two good drivers, you don't really change the car too much because you both think the same way. And I think that's certainly the case with this car, number 37, Rizzo and Liu, and it's been a mighty combination. That first win a few years ago, when they bounced out of the blocks with BBT and won in Korea. Ever since then, they've always been a factor in GT Asia and are again this year leading the championship at the moment.
Well, looks like they might be a factor in this race as well, because with all the pit stops done, Jonathan, they're only 6 seconds at the moment behind Sean Thong in the Audi out front.
Yeah, let's just remind you of where we are. It's Thong in 6th place, we just saw, but it's Thong and Rizzo in 2nd place. Sugden currently in 3rd, and as you say, gap at 4 seconds to in front of him, Rizzo, and we'll keep an eye on the times. Rizzo last time out at 1:31.7. Sugden just getting up to speed. Here's at 1:32.3, and just behind him, Krista Johns coming into the series, currently in 5th position. You can see him, the German Bentley driver, plenty of experience with Bentley. Somebody throwing up some dust there. We go back to the battle. Lamborghini and Ferrari, and Liberati at the wheel now.
He had a good drive yesterday to Liberati. Good to see him out there now. Get very aggressive with the car. Sits down the pack a bit at the moment, but they were in the pits for the longest time. Remember, they had to have a pit stop of 103 seconds, which is 13 seconds longer than most other guys.
Well, this will get interesting. We've got George Mendecki in the car in 6th place. We're watching this battle between Liberati and Van Dam as they go into turn 5. This is the battle for 7th and 8th, and I mentioned at the beginning of the weekend, my eyes on Carlo Van Dam, who has raced here probably more than anyone else. Came up, grew up racing Formula 3 here in Japan, was a Japanese Formula 3 champion. And I was asking him, had he raced here? And he said, oh yeah, I've raced here 4 times and I won 3 of them.
I'll tell you what though.
Whoa, safety car is out.
Right.
Now, that changes everything as you'd expect.
Yes.
There's been some sort of drama out on track, which has led to the safety car, the Lexus, being brought out on track, and that will file up the field. 22 minutes to go in this round 6.
I'll tell you who will be having a deflating feeling right now, and that is Sean Thong. Of course, he had a 6-second lead. Well, that 6-second lead now is down to 0.
And he's got the mighty Davide Rizzo behind him, as you can see, and a very hard-charging Tim Sugden, who, as you said earlier, got his tail up and probably feeling a little bit of the competition. Well, with John O'Lester there doing a good job. He wants to take it to a podium as well.
Yeah, and look who's right behind them. Adderley Fong,
Yeah.
who won the race yesterday by a mile.
Yeah, and who is in second place in the championship.
So this has worked into the hands of Adderley Fong for sure.
Yeah, the two Bentleys actually.
Yep.
4th and 5th at the moment.
And also
Mr. John's looking for a podium perhaps on his debut weekend in GT Asia. He'd never been to Asia, he was telling us, certainly never been to Japan. And he's a very tall fellow, but really enjoying the experience.
Yeah, he certainly is. And I'll tell you what, Jonathan, he knows how to drive a Bentley pretty well. So he's another guy that once he gets a few laps under his belt around this circuit, and in these conditions where all the cars are bunched up with 20 minutes to go, he could be a contender for the podium today.
Yeah, Krista John's having an interesting year. He started off at Bathurst in Australia a couple of years ago. He won the 24 Hours of Dubai, so certainly knows what he's doing in the sports car for sure. And this is a tough time for drivers. The adrenaline is flowing, you're in your flow, and then suddenly you're behind the safety car and you've got all sorts of other things to worry about. First of all, you've got to worry about the restart. Secondly, you've got to worry, and you'll see them weaving from side to side to keep the temperature in the tyres and the pressure correct, and also worrying about the brakes. We were listening in Thailand about how some of the drivers are more concerned about making sure the brakes are working well, because you don't want to not keep the brakes temperature warm, and then suddenly find yourself going into a braking zone at turn 5 after the restart and not being able to brake.
Absolutely, there's so many different things that you have to consider. You also have to get out of your head the conditions that the race were before. I mean, as an example, Thong out front at the moment had a 6-second lead. He's got to get it out of his head. Now it's a brand new race. He's going to go with David Arizzo behind him. A fresh race, whatever advantage he's had, he can't let the frustration of losing that advantage hinder his performance.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting restart, this. You join us with the safety car out on track here at Okayama round 6. We had a good clean race up until that point. And as you say, the restart with less than 20 minutes to go will be crucial. Getting a decent view of this beautiful circuit. You can see the hills. It's absolutely fantastic here as we head through the Atwood turn.
There's a couple of different lines through Atwood as well. Towards this last part of this race, that there's a wide line and a narrow line as they head onto the back straight there. A little bit of an opportunity to overtake up the inside there too, if you're brave. And you're going to have to be brave to make your way through the pack in this short amount of time.
Safety car's not showing any signs of coming in anytime soon.
No, Sean Thong using all the track to keep those tyres and brakes warm and up to speed. The Madeki Motorsport car, of course, in there. And Gianni Bruni sits at the back at the moment, but this could also work into the hands of him.
Well, we see on track, you can see on screen yourself that the safety car will be coming in this lap. That means the lights will go out and he will pull off, and then Thong will be in control of this race, but he's got to be very, very concentrated for sure, because David Arizzo and the men behind, like Sugden, will pounce as soon as they can.
Well, good news, the safety car will be in this lap.
Here we go then, and sure enough, he pulls to the right-hand side and out of the way. Now, the Audi leads the way and controls this race. 18 minutes to go then in round 6. Sean Thong in the number 5. Audi R8 gets the green flag, and we are racing again here at Okayama. Crucial start this. Lights blazing on both the Ferrari and the Porsche, and the Bentley's chasing behind. Then comes the Aston Martin. Tight start. Porsche under pressure. Tim Sugden getting a lot of attention from both Bentleys. Thong started well.
I'll tell you what car's missing out there. The Venter car's missing.
Yeah, I think clearly that has been the problem. We were trying to work it out, but didn't get an indication. But as you say,
Adderley Thong.
And you did call it. You said that watch out for Adderley Thong, and certainly Tim Sugden's find out that the man on form is already past him.
I'll tell you what, Sean Thong's, he's got the restart beautifully. He really has had to put his head down. He's under intense
look at this,
pressure.
Carlo Van Dam!
Oh, Carlo, that was a move and a half.
Well, if he makes it stick, which he looks as though he's going to, Madeki tries to come back at him. But Carlo Van Dam made a brilliant manoeuvre.
Talk about go-karting, that was up the
I was
inside.
about to say, that was a go-kart move there by Carlo. He made it stick.
Yeah, well, he's going to have to do a few more of them because there's a lot of fast cars in front of him right now.
Yeah, Carlo very frustrated this season. It's just not gone the way they hoped. We mentioned earlier, taken out of career when they looked as though they were heading for a podium. And from there on in, they just haven't had the luck, and maybe this will work out. Here we go. Just jinks out from behind the Lamborghini, and look at that manoeuvre past the Aston Martin.
2 in 1. That was, I think it was a little bit of an unexpected braking manoeuvre in reality. I don't think he meant to overtake both of them, but it just worked out that way.
16 minutes to go then. Alex Young trying to get past the Australian combination Aston Martin and get side by side for now anyway. Whoa! And that was tight.
Yeah, Madeki not giving Alex any room there and holding his line, which is the right thing to do under these conditions.
Well, he's used to a bit of cut and thrust. He did NASCAR of all things.
Well,
working with Ambrose's team.
Oh, look at Leicester. Leicester's
coming back.
Definitely coming under some attack.
But through goes Alex Young. So a good battle right through the whole field here as Thong leads it from Rizzo. Adley Fong still third.
And again, Van Dam on the brakes.
Great stuff. The Dutchman with some Dutch courage for sure.
We have to keep an eye on Gianni Bruni as well. He's moved up a little bit, but he's not moving up as quick as Carlo Van Dam. There he is, a few cars behind Carlo Van Dam is Gianni Bruni. There he's just stuck his nose out.
Can't get past or can he? Side by side with the Lamborghini. They come into David Hobbs' turn, and this is going to be interesting into the last turn for sure. Coming through the Mike Knight corner and onto the last corner here at Okayama. Jimmy Bruni looking for a way past. Behind him, Darrell O'Young, our current champion.
It does seem that the Ferrari is very good on brakes. There he is. He's gone up there outside. He's trying to get past the Lamborghini. Can't do it. He's had to get back into line and sit behind the Triple F Racing Lamborghini at the moment, the Hurricane. He's using all the track and more. He's certainly putting the pressure on, Jonathan.
Well, Liberati, having grown up, he's only 23, the man from Rome, will be well aware of the man behind him, who is probably the most famous GT driver in Italy.
Yeah, and of course Bruni comes from Rome as well,
yes.
So you could imagine that there'd be posters on the wall in Liberati's bedroom.
Well, I'm sure Liberati's thinking to himself, if I can hold off this will be a good day out at the office, and he knows that tuning in live around the world are the Lamborghini fans, and if he can take the scalp and hold off Jimmy Bruni, that's a good day at the office for sure.
Well, I'll tell you what, Madeki's doing a good job, isn't he? He's holding his own in the Aston Martin with those famous drivers behind him at the moment. It's a great job by the Australian team who have come into the championship for the first time this year.
Well, what an intriguing round 6 we're having, and still plenty of time with 13 minutes to go, just over. See, they are lining up to overtake each other. I've never seen a closer race in this stage of the proceedings. Great to see, and I think that safety car in some ways has helped the drama of this race in many ways.
Yeah, it certainly has, and of course Richard Lyons is on the back of the group as well. Now Richard Lyons sits behind Darrell O'Young. A lot of work for him to do if he wants to move his way up in this race.
Well, Richard Lyons, another man who had the best of luck. Here we go. Jimmy Bruni makes another move up the inside. This time makes it stick. Beautifully done.
Yeah, great timing there. Oh, gets on the gas.
But Artie comes back at him and can't quite pull it off.
You see the wheel spin. Did you see the wheel spin out of there, Jonathan? That was incredible the way he just got on the gas, held it beautifully.
Whoa, and that was a big manoeuvre there. Oh! And that was a little bit going into Atwood, and he's taken that.
Carlo Van Dam out, and he will not be happy with that.
Well, it was Alex Young who made the move, and again, it was a little ambitious in my mind. Let's have a look.
He's gone up the inside. There's Van Dam's turned in.
Well, I can see why, there was certainly room enough to make an attack, but it didn't pull it off.
Well, the Audi's very good on the brakes into the corner and close to the apex. We saw that early in the race, but it looks like Van Dam's got some sort of damage that he can't continue with.
Tough weekend again then for the Singer Motorsport entry. Ferrari 458 struggling around the track. I wonder if there's any damage to the Audi as well.
Well, you'd have to imagine there'd be some sort of steering damage. Hopefully not too bad and continue.
Bruni's next victim, as you can see, on track, another of the Bentleys. This time, Krista Johns in front of him.
He's not shy, is he, Bruni? He doesn't mind having a go wherever he can. He's overtaking in spots that we wouldn't expect.
Now the gap between the Ferrari and the Audi at the front, between first and second, down to 2.3 seconds with just over 11 minutes to go.
Yeah, I think that Sean Fong is doing a really good job out front at the moment. David and Rizzo just not being able to pull him in. A couple of tenths of a lap slower. Here we go, Carlo Van Dam into the pit. They'll have a quick look, but as far as the race result goes,
Bruni at 4, trying to go through.
But look at that drive he's got on.
Great drive.
That's a brilliant manoeuvre, and he's on the inside too.
The 488 Ferrari, Jimmy Bruni's first outing in it, and it doesn't need any extra time in the car. Throw anything at him, and he can drive it. And through he goes on the German. Nicely done by Jimmy Bruni.
He certainly had to work his way through the pack in both races here in Okayama, but certainly doing a good job, and a clean driver and clean race as well.
Keep an eye on Adley Fong, the gap just over a couple of seconds, as he last time out did a 131.5, his best time 132.2 his last lap, so not really gaining too much on Rizzo. Last time out did a 131.7, so Rizzo circulating very well at the moment. Both he and Sean Thong on good lap times at the moment.
Yeah, I think Adley had to work his way through the pack and obviously has burned his tyres up a little bit more than perhaps the two guys out front who have had a clean run. 2.1 seconds the gap now. With 10 minutes left, that's definitely doable if Sean Thong has a bad lap.
Now, Alex Young in the number 6 car from Audi, trying to attack the Porsche of Tim Sugden. Watching on from Audi.
There's Alex Howe. You can just see how hot it is in those cars. I mean, he's still
Whoa!
sweating. Around the outside now, that's a nice move.
Well, he likes that corner for an overtake, does Young. That's for sure, and this is going to be interesting. Oh, side by side as they head down the long straight here.
The Porsche has actually got bigger restrictor, and look at that as they head in and under brakes. He goes round the outside.
Go on! Sugden holds the position. Alex keeps his foot in. Young takes the position at 6. Great racing from the former Formula One star.
But look at Bruni.
Bruni's right there too. Everybody enjoying that little bit of action. Jimmy Bruni joins the battle. Sugden now under pressure again. Young's gone through. The two Minardi drivers trying to beat up. The former Minardi drivers trying to beat up on the Porsche champion. Great stuff.
Fastest man on track is Bruni. His fastest lap at 29.6 is a second quicker than anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, we've come to expect it. That's lap record pace for GT Asia around here. Fascinating race this has been. Onto the last corner and onto the main straight they come. Whoa! Very high and wide. And in the background there of Krista Johns, now under pressure from Amici.
He's on the gas.
Bruni looking for a way. Past Tim Sugden.
Yes, Tim Sugden definitely under a lot of pressure now. That Group M Porsche. They've been on the podium yesterday, but it might not look like it's going to get there today.
Cracking racing all through. Bruni looks for an overtake at turn 4, and he's great at getting good drive out of this corner, and he's done it again. And now another drag race for poor old Tim Sugden. It's exactly what the Audi did to him the lap before, and I think the 488 Ferrari is going to do the same. They've got less weight in that Porsche this weekend, but the horsepower, according to the Porsche men, not that much, about 8 horsepower more. And Jimmy Bruni makes it stick.
Everyone keeping their fingers crossed at the moment for that car. And as he makes his way, slides his way through the pack.
He is completely sliding his way through. Meanwhile, at the front, battle for the lead still at 2 seconds with 7 minutes to go.
Now, of course, due to that incident that we had earlier with Carlo Van Dam and Alex Young in the Ferrari and the Audi, there will be an investigation and a decision made after the race as to whether there will be a penalty for the overtaking manoeuvre where Alex Young went up the inside and took out Carlo Van Dam.
That certainly will make things interesting for sure. We're watching live coverage of GT Asia Round 6 here across Asia on Fox Sports. We head to Fuji in a couple of weeks' time, the classic Fuji circuit here in Japan, then it's Shanghai in China. So a long way to go and a lot of racing still to come from this 12-round 2016 GT Asia Series. It really has been a fantastic combination of the world's top GT drivers and the best gentleman drivers from Asia doing a superb job in their stint. And the level of this series has just grown and grown in the last 6 years. It really is second to none anywhere in the world.
I wonder what Krista Johns thought when he joined the championship. Oh yeah, go to Asia, have a nice easy weekend. Well, it hasn't turned out to be so easy.
Well, as we learned from George Medecker, who's certainly been at the Cup Thrust event in Australia, he thought, he didn't think it was going to be easy, but he never thought it would be as tough as it has been.
No, definitely not. Of course, those guys with their Aston Martin will also be doing Fuji, so good to see that team joining the championship.
Michi looking for a way past, and likewise Richard Lyons in the distance there trying to get on level terms with Darrell O'Young. Under investigation, confirmation then, car number 6 and number 12, as you mentioned. What are your thoughts on that one?
Well, it's a difficult one, but I mean, Alex did try to nip up the inside there, saw a little bit of a gap. We saw Jimmy Bruni do a similar move where he went in a bit deep and held it tight and didn't hit the car in front of him. He got away with it, but I don't know, we're going to have to wait and see what they say, but a little bit questionable turning around the number 12 car.
Number 9, Bentley, very close to exceeding track limits there, John's really under pressure from Amici. 5 minutes to go, just over. Cracking end to this one, round 6. And round 5 was good, but round 6 has just trumped it.
Yeah, I mean, the racing just gets better and better in this class. Of course, Johns is definitely under pressure. We saw that Bentley moving around a lot, especially out of here. He gets on the gas nice, and look at the sliding there from that Bentley. And Amici not having it easy either. His machine's moving around a lot as well.
Here's another look. Here it is. This is what's under investigation.
Yeah, I mean, he's up the inside. He's halfway past. Carlo Van Dam's turned in on the normal line. It's a difficult one to turn out.
But they had to investigate that, absolutely. Because yeah, of course, that's pretty much game over for the 458. And Sigurd Motorsport team not happy, I'm sure, with that manoeuvre.
No, they've had to obviously pull into the pits, and I'm sure that part of the job of any good team is to fight whatever happens to the end. So they'll be fighting that well into the night later on today.
Certainly been a better experience for Alex Young, and of course he carries a big name with him, pundit for Fox Sports in Formula One, but on proper duty, if you will, racing himself, and former Formula One star, came through the ranks of Motorsport Asia, one of the big stars, of course, over the years, and a big success story for Motorsport Asia. Been watching him race since the age of 15, Alex Young, so he is a fantastic story, but he may have been at fault on that one, but we'll find out after the race. Well, meanwhile, back at that battle, Jimmy Bruni's not done with him either.
No, Alex Young's got bigger problems than what you just said at the moment. Jimmy Bruni, of course, he just last lap was 0.8 of a second quicker than Alex Young, so definitely going to be able to put in the next 3 minutes and 39 enough pressure on Alex, and perhaps I don't think he's finished his overtaking manoeuvres in this race just yet.
Meanwhile, Anthony Fong just up the road from them in 3rd position. And I'll also tell you that the gap now between the leaders is just down to 2 seconds. Rizzo doing a very good job in the last few laps of keeping Sean Thong honest for sure, and it's going to be an interesting finish, this.
When I look at Bruni drive, what I see is the car's moving around and dancing around everywhere on the track, but he just holds it all together. I mean, he really does get the most out of every inch of tarmac, the most grip, the most drive, and you know, I guess that's what makes him the driver he is.
Anthony Fong from Hong Kong, development driver for Formula One most recently. Meanwhile, the two former Minardi Formula One stars, Alex Young, Jean-Marie Bruni, 3-time winner at Le Mans. On the main straight, here we go. 2 minutes and 37 seconds. Time for another lap at least before we come to the end of this enthralling round 6 race.
Well, I think that in this lap, Jimmy Bruni's going to have an attack for sure.
Oh, yeah.
He's definitely on.
And they may catch the Bentley as well.
Yeah, I mean, Adley Thong is definitely not out of the woods just yet. He's definitely got some issues with his car grip that he didn't have yesterday. Yesterday he was lapping a lot quicker, but struggling for grip compared to yesterday.
So, we await the conclusion of this. Meanwhile, Lyons still pushing on O'Young further back down the field. Jimmy Bruni looks to the outside. A big wide line by Alex into turn 5, defending that position, but you can see from those lap times that he's taken, what, 0.8 out of him last lap, and you can see the gap between them, it's nothing to him. That's how fast Bruni is pushing.
Yeah,
how much he's narrowed that gap down to almost nothing.
There
Here he
is
goes.
no gap. There is no gap. Now he's just figuring out where he can do it, and he's going to get one more lap after this to think about it.
And the problem could be for Alex that the Bentley could actually slow him down a little bit as he gets closer. He's trying to defend that position, but he's got the Bentley in front.
Well, basically, Alex has to go for it now. He really does have to go for it, and he's right on the back of the Bentley as well. So this is going to be an intriguing last lap between these 3 cars.
Minute to go then, and the last lap, and through go the leaders. That's the gap between first and second, but the battle is on for third for sure. Jimmy Bruni far from done with this. Crosses the line in 5th place, but he wants to get at least 4th, if not 3rd.
Good mid-corner speed there from Alex Young in the Audi. He really did get a good drive out of there. Bruni can't do anything there.
Bentley versus Audi versus Ferrari through the Moss S's. Atwood is the next opportunity. That's where Alex got into trouble, or may well get into trouble. Next opportunity is at 5.
Alex just had a moment out of turn 3, so it's going to be interesting to see how the Ferrari attacks, but I'm be sure Bruni's going to attack up the inside into the hairpin, but he closes the line off. He's not silly as Alex Young.
Good defensive driving by Young, but look at this, Jimmy Bruni's going to go for it. Can't quite pull it off. Time running out, and corners running out. Here's your leader, the number 5 Audi, looking for its 2nd win of the season. Rizzo will try to close him down, but the gap's still 2 seconds. Alex Young doing everything he can to defend. He's got Adley Thong in front of him, and he's got Bruni all over the back of him. Into the penultimate corner, they almost touch. Here comes the leader. The gap's still 2 seconds. Sean Thong's going to take victory for he and Marchie Lee here. Again, their 2nd of the year. There's the checkered flag then in Okayama. Round 6 is won by the Audi number 5. 2nd is Rizzo and Liu. 3rd is the Bentley of Kim and Thong. And Thong on the podium again for the 2nd time. Marchie Lee congratulated by the team. Another win for him, for the Hong Kong driver. A good combination and good defensive driving by Alex Young. Rolls off Jimmy Bruni for 4th place. Bruni takes 5th as he returns to GT Asia. Sugden and Lester takes 6th place. Johns and Vuitton will take 7th. And probably a disappointed Liberati and Amici finishing in 8th overall, and Marchie Lee just straightening his hair with the camera. I'm sure we'll get a full speech from him, and he'll be wanting to celebrate with water, I may add, not Gatorade.
Absolutely. What a fantastic race that was. That's probably the most exciting GT3 race I've seen.
Super, best one of the season for sure. And you watched it live here on Fox Sports. We welcome our viewers across Asia. I hope you're enjoying this as much as we are enjoying bringing it to you, because we've got the full season live here on Fox Sports, and if that's the kind of racing we're up against, Formula One's good, but you don't get as many overtakes as that.
Gee, the Lee Thong combination is starting to turn into a very successful pairing, isn't it?
Yeah, very, very impressive, and that's going to change the championship. We're opening up even further. Remember, we started the weekend with Rizzo and Liu leading by 63 points, or with 63 points, and with Adley Thong and Andrew Kim on 54. And there is a confirmation of the result then. Doesn't get any better than that. 3 manufacturers. Audi winning the race. Ferrari in 2nd place. Bentley in 3rd. Thong, Rizzo and Thong. And then Audi again in 4th position. A great battle between Audi and Ferrari for 4th position. But Bruni not able to get past Alex Young. Still, though, under investigation, the Audi in 4th position. So that could change Bruno will settle with that 5th place. Sugden and Leicester taking 6th place, and a little further down, Johns and Futikorn in 7th place in the Bentley. Then Liberati and Amici in 8th position in the Lamborghini. And there's Mr. Michelin.
And I guess that's a pretty good advertisement for Audi too. Audi Hong Kong sponsored.
Until it was covered by the Ferrari, and just beautiful cars. That's what I love about this series. And yep. Well, Marchi, happy, very happy, I'm sure, as he puts the Michelin hat on. And Davide Rizzo, the bespectacled Davide Rizzo, who's been such a sensational driver in this series over the last 3 years. And congratulating the Audi driver. There's a great camaraderie. We saw them last night all having a couple of Singer beers and just chatting with each other. You don't see it in motor racing, and it's great. I mean, you know, that's what I really love about it's almost refreshing, this series, in motorsport terms. It's world-class drivers, and yet they're all just, you know, hanging out afterwards and sharing stories.
No, you're absolutely right, Jonathan. And that's probably the biggest part that I like about this the Asian GT3 series is the camaraderie, the tracks that we go to, the places that we go to, and the racing that they have. I mean, the racing is sensational. I haven't seen cars like this race so closely and with so much action anywhere else in the world. So for me, it's a fantastic job.
Sean Hasselwood, who you can see down there about to get the interviews, he's got the easiest time to write the press release heading towards, or the preview for Fuji. It's the classic Japanese circuit. And, of course, when you just see a race like you've seen, you can't help but not get excited. 2 weeks' time, put it in your diary and get ready, because we're going racy again. Sean down there, and we're about to interview a very, very happy combination of Thong and Lee, who are winners with Audi in the number 5.
Okay. Sean Tong, fantastic race. What were you thinking after that safety car? Because there's an awful lot of pressure after having that good lead.
Yeah, it's really frustrating when the safety car come up, because we got a good 10 seconds lead after pit stop, but then there's nothing I can do. That's racing. So when the safety car gone green, I just focus lap by lap, make sure I'm consistent and fast enough to bring the car home by checker flag. So I'm really happy we win this race.
What's this mean to your championship?
We are 4th currently, so I think this will put us back up in the top 3, but I'm not sure at the moment.
Exciting though.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and in fact, very, very important for the championship. And I bet you Marchi Lee's got more words to say on that, because that has put he and Thong back into contention for the championship. And I'm sure Marchi Lee will be licking his lips, so to speak, when the thought of going to Fuji is
Marchi
in prospect.
Lee, 2 wins, that's a nice result. What were your emotions when that safety car came out?
This time it's a proper interview now, so yes, it's very good. You know, the first stint, I know I have speed, and also that we plan to use the new tires the second set today. And so I was a bit struggling in the tires, I think the understeer, so I saw my chance and I passed him. And then I just keep doing my fastest lap and then be consistent. And then pass to Sean, and was a bit worried about the safety car, and we don't know why the reason. But yeah, was good win. Second win for the season. Thanks for the team, thanks for Ans, thanks for you guys, thanks for everybody, and thanks me again. Thank you.
If you don't know Marchi Lee, he's a great, he's got a great sense of humor. He started the interview by saying, proper interview now, because he was very emotional last time out at Thailand, and he did thank everybody and thanked himself, and he's done it again because that is his sense of humor. But he was explaining to us that he was desperate for a bottle of water after the race. But he's just such a fun guy, and that was a tongue-in-cheek interview, but one that he absolutely relished, because it does put him in contention. As you can see now, Rizzo and Liu with 79 points apiece, 68 points, just a few points behind. Marchi Lee moves up to 3rd place, and Li Fong in 4th. It's so close. Look at them, all on 68 points. What a championship we have. And Eduardo Liberati and Andrea Amici far from out of it on 60. So what a way to go to Fuji in a few weeks' time here in Japan. Book your tickets if you want to come and see it, because I think these boys are going to go at it yet again. And when you see the likes of Jonathan Venter, Ketasawa, A little further down, and our current champion, Darrell Young, down in an amazing 19th position. More fireworks to come from this series for sure, because those guys don't like to be in those positions, and they are better than that, and I'm sure they will be coming up the board. But it really is shaping up nicely now, and Marchie Lee absolutely got his tail up, and he's one of those drivers that once he gets a sniff at a championship possibility, and I think now, as you mentioned earlier, Steve, that combination of him and Sean Dong, who was so good there, so cool under pressure. Davide Rizzo is no mean feat to hold off, and he did so brilliantly. And I think it does just shape up nicely for Fuji in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're heading to Fuji, of course, and there will be, it's a completely different track to this as well. So there's going to be a whole lot of different things in play, which we're going to have to look forward to. There's going to be a lot of damage that needs to be sorted out between this weekend Fuji as well. And there's lots of stuff to sort out. But one thing is that we do know for sure is that this beautiful golden Audi R8 is definitely competitive at all types of tracks at the moment. I mean, they've won obviously at Buriram, a nice wide open circuit with grippy tarmac, and they've been able to win here as well with a tight track carved into the side of a mountainside with not so grippy tarmac. So a great job by them.
And of course, we focus, of course, on the Drivers' Championship, but of course the manufacturers, well, their focus is on making that Audi the #1 car in Asia, racing term-wise. Ferrari want to do the same, and Bentley, of course. And it's going to be interesting because it's so prestigious now here to be kings of Asia, and that's why the best drivers come. Here's your podium then, after what has been a massively entertaining weekend. Both rounds 5 and 6 held here at the Okayama Circuit, and coming out on top, Sean Dong and Marchie Lee. On the left-hand side, in the red overalls, it's Anthony Liu on the left, and Davide Rizzo, his Italian teammate. The BBT team, the Billionaires Boys team, coming out of Shanghai. And a great weekend overall for these two. I think you've really got to take your hats off. I suppose the winners of the weekend are these two, aren't they?
Yeah, and they're definitely working their way back up through the championship as well. So, getting some really good points at Li Fong and Andrew Kim. Andrew getting his first win in round 5.
Yeah, and also take your hat off to Adley Fong. He was pole position and on the podium in the States at Road America just a week ago. He'll be back there in action at Mid-Ohio and Salt Lake City, and the Bentley marauding its way around the USA as well with Absolute Racing. So big season, busy season for the likes of Paddy Roberts and Engelmatter and the team, and Adelaide doing a really good job. So congratulations then to the combination of Thong and Lee and the Phoenix Racing Asia team. And Phoenix, of course, having much success in Europe, but now taking it to Asia and their second win of the year. And our thanks to the organisers here at Okayama. Fantastic organisation, metronomic, as only the Japanese racing fraternity can do. Been treated well. It's a beautiful setting for a motor race, and I think the racing lived up to the setting today, without a doubt. Well, you can go on the internet, you can go to our website and check out GT Asia. All the highlights will be there. We're on Facebook. We're all over the internet. Join us next time out in Fuji. That will be from the 15th to the 17th of July at Fuji International Speedway in Japan. My thanks to Steve Martin. I'm Jonathan Green. Thank you for joining us for GT Asia across Fox Sports in Asia. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time.